Okay, today is Sunday, November the 6th, and our sermon was Squeaky Wheels. And let's just jump into the scripture, and then we'll go into this. Then they came to Jericho, and as he was leaving Jericho and his disciples and a large crowd, a blind beggar named Bartimaeus, the son of Timaeus, was sitting by the road. When he heard that it was Jesus of Nazareth, he began to cry out and say, "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me." Many were sternly telling him to be quiet, but he kept crying out, "Son of David, have mercy on me." And Jesus stopped and said, "Call him here." So they called the blind man, saying to him, "Take courage, stand up, he is calling for you." Throwing aside all his cloak, he jumped up to Jesus and answered him. Jesus said, "What do you want me to do?" And the blind man said to him, "Rabbi, I want to regain my sight." And Jesus said to him, "Go, your faith has made you well." Immediately he regained his sight and began following. And that was just amazing. I mean, Jesus just said, "Your faith." And you got to realize there's a lot of beggars out there. A lot of blind people, because blind people back then didn't have anything to do but beg. And Jesus, that's all it is. You got to call out. And we'll start this off with believe Jesus can change you. See, that's the first thing he did. He believed that Jesus could do it. I mean, and you got to ask him. You've got to ask Jesus for what you want. Jesus knows what you need. Jesus knows, but that's not it. We're supposed to have a relationship with Jesus, which is a relationship with God through Jesus. And that's the whole point is you've got to have the relationship. This isn't just okay, I'm doing this, and this. You've got to have a relationship. And the only way to have one is you've got to talk to him through prayer and listen to him through his word. I mean, and that's it. You've got to pursue him. He's there. He's right here. He's right. You don't see him. I do. He's right here. He's telling me what to say to you right now. I mean, that's you've got to believe that he can do it. And you know, and him being blind means so much. It's not just that he can't see. You know, it's a metaphor for the spiritually blind, because he wasn't spiritually blind, and that's why now he isn't physically blind. He saw through his blindness to the one that could heal him. And that's what you've got to do. You've got to see through your blindness to the one that can heal you. And it's not me sitting here on this camera. I'm just telling you what has happened to me, and and what he's done for me, what he did for this man back when he was here on earth, and what he can do for you. And then the next thing is you are either going to feel people or you're going to fear and trust God. I mean, hey, God, you should have a certain amount of fear of what God's going to do to you if you do something wrong. But you've also got to trust him that if I do right. And you can't fear, okay, what is everybody going to say about me when I do this? What is everybody, no, what is God going to think about you when you do it? That's what you need. Everything you do, you should look and go, okay, how's God? Not how's my friend going to see this? How's my wife going to look at this? If you're doing what you think is right and what God has called you to do it. Don't worry about what everybody's going to think about you. Just do what you know God wants you to do. Because, you know, and then the next thing is not just the absence of fear from the people, but now that you're believing and you're trusting, you got to listen. Listen to it. Just listen. God's going to speak to you, but you've got to be listening. If you don't listen, I mean, your wife probably talks to you 1,000 times a day that you don't listen to. You know, women, same way. Your husband probably says a million things that you never hear because you're not listening. And God's talking to you all the time. Every day God will speak to you if you will just open your ears and your heart and listen to what God has to say. And then once you get to this point, you've got to realize, stick with the road that Jesus travels. And that's what Barnabas did when it was all over, or whatever his name is. I never can. Bartimaeus just, hey, okay, I can go. I can see now. I can do anything. I'm following Jesus. That's what I'm gonna do. I could go out here. I could go get me a job like I want, but nope. I'm gonna follow Jesus. I'm following Jesus to the very end. You know, and that's what you've got to do. Once He saves you, once He does it, you've got to follow Him. And wherever, and this was my favorite thing of the whole sermon. This really spoke to me. Where God guides, God provides. I'm going to use this statement for the rest of my life, and I'll tell millions of people this. Where God guides you, God will provide. You know, just start following. Just take one step at a time, one day at a time. What's your next step? Take it. And then the step after that, take it. I mean, this right here, this whole thing here, what I'm doing right now is a step. God told me to do this. And I'm like, but I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. Why am I doing this? You know, just take that step. He'll show you later. And it may be you may take step number 1 and be walking 30 miles before you get to where God's leading you to. Just because you take one step doesn't mean that's the end of it. The journey doesn't end. It never ends. Your journey ends the day you die and you're in heaven sitting next to God. That's when the journey ends. It doesn't end before then. Don't think, okay, when I get to this point I can quit working for God. Well, then what do you expect God? Do you expect God to quit working for you? You know, is that what you want? I mean, not expect, I guess want. I mean, that's what's going to happen. Usually, I mean, you know, and we're selfish in the fact that we think He's going to have to do something for us to be able to, you know, to do for Him. I mean, and He's done more for us. I mean, He created us. I mean, that's like, you know, you expect your kids to do a certain amount of things, and why? What'd you ever do for them? You know, you provided everything. Well, that's what He did for us. We're His child. We're His children. I mean, and when you think about it that way, when you realize that He is the Father of all, I mean, everything's because of Him. If He wouldn't have started it, it wouldn't be. You know, so we've got to get rid of our selfishness and our pride and whatever, and just start following Him. Do what He wants you to do. Ask Him, what's the next step? Okay, I'll take that one. What's the next step? Okay, I'll take that one. And just keep, and then after a while you don't ask, you just follow. Once you get to the point where you're just following Him and He's leading you, then your life not necessarily will get easier, but you will seem like it's easier. People will see you struggling with something and you won't see a struggle anymore. Because it's all in what you see. You know, somebody with a lot more money than you will be seeing you and they're like, well, how do you have what you've got and you're not stressed out all the time? Because I just follow God. I follow His plan. He shows me what to do. And that's what I do. And that's what you've got to do. You know, you just got to do it. You know. You know, well, and I guess that's all I have to say. I mean, I think I don't really have anything else to add to it. Yeah, so you know, I guess now I'm just sitting here rambling in front of a camera, just staring at it, talking to it. But yeah, I guess that's it. Now, well, I would like to ask y'all to do something though. I mean, just comment on my videos. Tell me if they're good. Tell me if they're bad. I mean, I need feedback. I'm sitting here talking to a camera. I know there's people watching me every week, and I need some of your comments. I need your feedback. If you don't want to post it on there, just email me. I mean, you can send messages to me, private messages, whatever. Just people, please tell me. Do you like this? Do I ramble too much? Do I need to talk a little more? Do I need to read the Bible a little more in this? Do you find the Bible reading part boring? Just tell the story. You know, do you want me to read it word for word? Just give me a little bit of feedback. And you know, and of course, if you like the video, thumbs it up. If you don't, thumbs it down. If you think other people need to see it, share it with your friends. You know, share it on Facebook. If you have YouTube, share it on here with other people. But you know, just don't be selfish with me. If you think what I'm doing is good, let other people see it too. And I guess I'll quit rambling.